3 years ago, my company was going completely broke. We could barely afford to stay alive for another month, and all of our hard work was on the verge of total collapse. And we needed to start managing our debt and cash flow immediately if we wanted to make it past another month, which, because you're watching this, we did. I'm going to tell you the 5 most important lessons that I learned while building my company, Lawtrades, which today is one of the fastest growing marketplaces for legal services. You'll learn how you can leverage debt to grow your startup, why you need profitable customers to last, and how you can avoid the common cash flow issues so you don't grow broke. All right, let's get into it.
My name is Raad, and I'm founder and CEO of Lawtrades. Thank you so much, guys.
Lesson 1. Riches are in niches. At first, we were serving small business owners, but pivoted to hyper-growth startups, which are the big league companies that have that rare combination of growing both exponentially and sustainably. Companies like DoorDash or Pinterest. This pivot came because a lot of the smaller companies we were catering to were those who couldn't afford a full legal team and would often use our services for one-off projects. This was super convenient for them, but meant we had fewer loyal customers we could rely on for steady revenue. Also, since we weren't selective in our client base, we didn't have a clearly defined company identity, which meant we were competing with both known and unknown companies doing some variation of our legal tech startup. After the switch, companies like DoorDash became loyal repeat customers that generated a steady profit. This might happen more often than you think. For instance, Sbarro Pizza was able to dig itself out of debt by transforming their customer base to serve a different demographic. At first, it used to be more of a kiosk, but after turning it into a more fast casual business, it was able to bring in more customers and remain profitable. It involved developing a niche. Lesson 2. Aim for super likes, not matches. As Paul Graham said, it's better to make a few users love you than a lot ambivalent. By building a community, I was able to find people who genuinely loved our business and became really big fans. These supporters endorsed us to other major customers. This led to word of mouth within this specific community, which was basically free marketing for us. But at this point, we realized we had a cash flow problem. So cash flow is the money going in and out of companies. For example, money coming in is profit. Money going out is things like paying employees. A solid cash flow is seeing more money coming in than going out. Like a funnel, you have a lot more on top that is exiting the bottom at a slower rate than you're pouring water from the top. So why did we have this cash flow issue? These larger companies we work with had longer billing cycles. So they would pay us every 30 or sometimes 60 days. But as a marketplace platform, we needed to pay out our lawyers every 2 weeks, which meant our accounts payables outpaced our accounts receivables. Lesson 3, don't grow broke, or at least try not to. We had to improve our cash flows, and desperate times led to desperate measures. We did everything from taking out loans with insane interest rates to putting lawyer payouts on my personal credit card, which American Express was not very happy about. At this point, most companies would turn to a venture capitalist. But that didn't feel right because it wasn't like we weren't making money. It's just that the money wasn't coming in fast enough. So we needed to play a strategic game of catch up. Lesson 4, debt is not an endgame. You can do debt right. We learned about a company called CapChase, which is one of the few companies that provides upfront capital based on receivables. Basically, they knew what we knew, that we were making money even if it wasn't all in our bank account. That meant they were able to front the money that we knew we would have in a few months today, which gave us what we needed to fill in the gap between what we had and what we needed to maintain a steady cash flow. This also gave us the freedom to invest the profits to acquire more customers so we could grow even faster. With their help, we were able to fix our cash flow and establish an equilibrium. money coming in and going out at a steady and sustainable flow. This allowed us to hit over $700,000 in monthly revenue and raise a $6 million Series A while selling very little equity to investors. If you want to hear more about that story, I'll link it somewhere in this video. Lesson 5. Treat investors in the same way you treat debt. Debt should not be a first resort, and it should be used strategically and for the right reasons. We're often told that debt is bad. It's something we should be afraid of, but that's only if you're not using it in a meaningful way. In many ways, having debt is the same as having investments. They're both different ways to grow, but with debt, you can grow without giving up equity. With VCs, you can grow with a safety net. When you take on debt, yes, you're taking on responsibility, but you're also holding on to power and control within your company. This is just to say that there are many avenues to take when considering how to grow your business, and sometimes that means feeling like you're in free fall. Even Apple has been on the verge of financial collapse, but was bailed out just in the nick of time. Never forget that there are times when even the most successful businesses have setbacks. It's how you navigate them that's important to creating a sustainable future. As Dropbox founder Drew Houston once said, "Don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once." Money can spurn some of the most daunting and life-changing challenges. Sometimes you can't help but become fixated on how much you have and how much you have lost. In those moments of anxiety, it helps to think of money as water flowing through a stream. You'll never collect the same pool of water twice. You can't stop the flow, no matter how much you try. That means there are inevitably ways to help money come in, just as there are inevitably ways that money will flow out. What you need to do is learn how to operate within the stream. Be smart, be strategic, and have faith that the current will keep you going as long as you do. My name is Raad, and I'm a startup founder and CEO, and I talk about ways you can grow your company, raise capital, and stay happy throughout all the highs and lows of your startup journey. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.